Welcome to this exciting and engaging discussion where today we explore the fascinating story behind the 1998 P1 dime USA coin that, despite its modest face value of just 10 cents, has stunned collectors and enthusiasts by being valued at an astounding $900,000 or $900,000 because of extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and rare variations that make it a numismatic treasure unlike almost anything else in modern coinage. And in this journey we'll dive deep into the intricate details that separate ordinary coins from these exceptional rarities, tracing the factors that influence their rarity and value, the historical background of the dime, the unique circumstances of minting in 1998 at the Philadelphia Mint, and the specific mint mark anomalies, die errors, planchette flaws, and striking peculiarities that transform what most people would overlook into something worthy of the most prestigious collections and auctions. So imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of Americans handled without a second thought during their daily lives, passing it through vending machines, pocket change, and cash registers, never realizing that somewhere among the billions minted was a small handful containing a combination of errors so rare that their discovery sent waves through the coin collecting community. And the 1998 P-dime story is one of those serendipitous alignments of human error, machine imperfection, and statistical improbability, for in that year, the Philadelphia Mint, tasked with producing enormous quantities of dimes for circulation, operated with high-speed presses and mass production processes. But even in such controlled environments, the possibility of a misaligned die, a double die obverse or reverse, a misplaced mint mark, or a wrong planchette striking event could occur, and when they did, the results, though unintended, created anomalies instantly recognizable to experienced numismatists. For example, in certain known specimens of the 1998 P-dime, the mint mark, P, appears shifted from its standard position, either tilted, partially struck, or doubled, leading to a visually obvious departure from the norm, and in some cases, die deterioration or die clash marks caused unusual raised lines, doubling of design elements, or ghost-like impressions of reverse features visible on the obverse. And while minor errors may only bring a modest premium, the combination of multiple dramatic errors in one coin is exponentially more valuable. And that's exactly what makes the most famous example of the 1998 P-dime worth up to $0.90 million, for the coin in question reportedly exhibits not just a dramatic mint mark error, but also a significant off-center strike, a broad strike without reading on the edge, and subtle planchette composition anomalies that suggest either contamination or a wrong metal blank was fed into the press, all of which are extraordinarily rare when found together. And when a coin embodies so many rare traits, its desirability among advanced collectors skyrockets, leading to record-breaking auction prices, and the passion driving such prices comes not only from rarity but also from the human fascination with imperfection, because while the mint strives for perfection in every coin, collectors often value those pieces that deviate from perfection the most, seeing in them a tangible story of production quirks and human oversight. And when we talk about the possibilities that make such a coin valuable, we must consider how rarity is determined, involving both the total mintage numbers and the survival rate of error coins, because even if dozens were struck, most could have been caught and melted by mint inspectors, with only a few escaping into circulation, and once in circulation, the odds of them surviving decades without damage are slim. So a pristine example graded by a top-tier certification service such as PCGS or NGC with a high mint state grade, say MS 68 or higher, instantly adds tremendous value. And the grading process involves meticulous examination of luster, strike sharpness, surface preservation, and eye appeal, all of which contribute to the coin's final price. And in the case of the 1998 P-dime worth $0.90 million, the specimen's high grade combined with its extreme rarity and multiple errors created a perfect storm for value escalation, attracting competitive bidding from wealthy collectors and investors who understand that such opportunities are generational. And looking back at the history of error coins, we see numerous examples of relatively modern coins achieving incredible valuations due to unusual mistakes, from the 1955 double die cent to the 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter. But the 1998 P-dime stands apart due to the complexity of its errors and the extreme scarcity of verified specimens. And another factor influencing value is provenance, because when a coin has a documented chain of ownership, particularly if it has been part of famous collections or sold at prestigious auctions, it gains a layer of historical significance that adds to its mystique and desirability. And as collectors seek to own not just an object but a story, the lore surrounding this coin's discovery plays a huge role, with tales of it being found in ordinary change, sparking a life-changing moment for its discoverer. And this romantic aspect of coin collecting is what keeps the hobby alive and thriving, as it invites anyone, anywhere, to imagine that the next handful of change they receive could contain something priceless. And when analyzing the minting process in detail, we understand how such a coin could come to exist, as the Philadelphia Mint in 1998 employed high-speed Stula presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute, and during such intense operation, even a minor misfeed or loose die component could create a cascade of anomalies in the coins struck until the problem was detected and corrected. And the variety of potential mistakes ranges from off-center strikes, die cracks, cuts, wrong planches, rotated dies, and multiple strikes, each with its own level of rarity and appeal. And what's especially remarkable about the $0.90 million 1998p dime is that it encapsulates more than one of these categories, making it a numismatic marvel. And this multifaceted error profile means that its market appeal extends beyond just dime specialists to error coin collectors, modern coin enthusiasts, and even investors seeking tangible assets with built-in rarity. And this broad interest base helps push prices into the stratosphere. And when such a coin is offered at auction, the intense competition can drive values far beyond initial estimates, especially when media coverage brings the story to the attention of a wider public, creating buzz and fueling demand. And the psychology of collecting plays a huge role here, because ownership of such a piece is not just about financial investment but about status within the numismatic community, as possessing one of the rarest modern US coins serves as a badge of prestige and a conversation piece that transcends the hobby itself. And in terms of possibilities for finding such a coin today, while the odds are astronomically low, they are not zero, and stories do exist of rare error coins being discovered decades after minting, often in bank rolls, inherited coin jars, or mixed change from estate sales. So for anyone interested in treasure hunting through their change, it's important to know what to look for, such as checking the date and mint mark placement, inspecting for doubling of letters or devices, examining the strike alignment, and feeling the edge for missing reading or unusual smoothness. And using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help detect subtle anomalies that naked eyes might miss. And if something seems off, professional authentication is the next step, as counterfeiters do attempt to mimic rare errors, though advanced testing of metal composition, die markers, and strike characteristics can quickly confirm or debunk authenticity. And as for the long-term value prospects of such coins, the trajectory has been upward for decades, with rare error coins consistently outperforming many other collectibles in terms of appreciation, partly because they cannot be artificially reproduced in the same way as art prints or collectibles manufactured for scarcity, since genuine mint errors result from unrepeatable conditions in the minting process, and each is unique. And as supply remains fixed or even dwindles due to loss or damage, demand naturally drives values higher. And the 1998p dime's $0.90 million valuation is not just a reflection of rarity but of the intersection between historical interest, condition, error complexity, and collector psychology. And as this story spreads, it may inspire more people to take a closer look at their change, fueling both the hobby and the market for rare coins. And perhaps that is the greatest takeaway from this extraordinary piece of metal, that something so small and seemingly insignificant can carry with it a tale of human imperfection, chance discovery, and immense value, all hidden in plain sight until the right eyes recognize its worth. And so whether you are a seasoned numismatist, a casual collector, or someone just learning about the world of rare coins, the saga of the 1998p dime worth $0.90 million stands as a reminder that in the vast sea of everyday currency, there exist hidden treasures waiting to be found, studied, and cherished, and that the next great numismatic legend could be resting unnoticed in the palm of your hand right now. Friends, to another exciting and fascinating journey into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins, where today we will uncover the surprising and unbelievable story of the 1999 D1 dime USA coin. Coin that on the surface might appear as just an ordinary 10-cent piece you could find in your pocket change, but which, due to a unique combination of errors, mistakes, and mint mark anomalies, has become worth a jaw-dropping $450,000, making it hundreds of thousands of times more valuable than its tiny face value. And as we dive deep into this astonishing story, you will see exactly why collectors, numismatists, and coin enthusiasts from all around the world are constantly on the lookout for examples of this rare coin. because this is a case where a seemingly simple dime transforms into a true treasure thanks to its fascinating production history and the very specific characteristics that elevate it into the elite category of collectible currency. So let's begin by talking about the context in which the 1999 D dime was minted, because understanding the background of the year, the minting process, and the significance of the D mint mark is crucial to appreciating why this particular coin stands out so much. And in 1999, the United States mint facilities were operating at high production volumes to meet the needs of the economy, producing billions of coins across denominations, with the Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark, being one of the key production sites. And while most of the coins struck there were perfectly ordinary and passed quality inspection without incident, occasionally, due to human error, machine malfunction, or unexpected variations in the metal planches, coins would emerge with features that did not match the standard design specifications, and these are what we refer to as mint errors, which can range from double strikes to off-center strikes, incorrect planchette usage, die clashes, missing elements, or unusual mint mark placements. And in the case of the 1999 D dime that has reached such a staggering value, it is precisely a rare combination of these factors that has created such incredible collector demand, because this particular specimen or specimens are believed to have a highly unusual mint mark positioning that may have been hand-punched or misaligned relative to the design, combined with a planchette issue such as an incorrect metal composition or a broad strike error, which means the coin's rim and edge are affected, giving it an appearance very different from the standard issue. And to make things even more interesting, there are reports of 1999 D dimes with doubling in key areas such as the inscriptions, Liberty, or In God We Trust, or the date itself. And doubling of this sort can occur during the die preparation process when the design is impressed more than once with slight misalignment, creating a visually striking and highly collectible error. And when you have multiple unusual characteristics stacking together in a single coin, for example, a mint mark error, a metal composition anomaly, and a striking misalignment, you end up with a numismatic rarity that simply cannot be replicated in today's tightly controlled minting environment, which is why collectors will pay astronomical sums to own it. And the market for such coins is driven by both rarity and condition, meaning that if a 1999 D dime with such errors is found in pristine, uncirculated condition, possibly even graded by a professional service as MS-67 or higher, the value can skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands, because there might be only one or two known examples in the world in such state. And this is precisely why a particular 1999 D dime has been estimated and even auctioned for values reaching $450,000, far beyond anything its original creators could have imagined. And this kind of story captivates people because it's a perfect blend of history, luck, craftsmanship, and accident, where the tiniest deviation from the norm transforms something mundane into a legend. And for those of you wondering how such an error could slip past the mint's quality control, it's important to remember that in a high-speed mass production environment, striking hundreds of coins per minute, even the most rigorous inspection processes can miss rare anomalies, and when they do, these coins are released into circulation and become part of everyday commerce, waiting for the sharp-eyed collector or lucky individual to spot them. And the thrill of potentially finding one in your change is what makes coin collecting such an addictive hobby for many. And when we talk about mint mark errors specifically, the history is fascinating, because in earlier decades mint marks were often hand-punched into the dies, allowing for a lot of variability. But even in the modern era, die preparation still has room for unexpected shifts or defects, and the D on this coin may have a distinctive slant, unusual spacing from the date, or a partial impression that makes it stand apart. And in combination with other errors, it becomes instantly recognizable to trained eyes. And from a metallurgical perspective, if the planchette used for striking the coin was not the correct copper-nickel-clad composition used for standard dimes, but perhaps a leftover or misfed planchette from a different denomination or year, the coin's weight, color, and sound would all differ subtly from normal, adding yet another layer of intrigue. And these characteristics can be scientifically confirmed through non-invasive tests like XRF analysis, which measures the elemental composition, or precise digital weighing to detect even minute deviations from standard tolerances. And such confirmation boosts collector confidence and fuels bidding wars at auction. And it's worth mentioning that the coin market, like any collectibles market, is influenced by hype cycles and rarity perception, meaning that the more a coin like the 1999 D dime is talked about in collector circles, numismatic publications, and online forums, the more its desirability and value can grow. especially if it's tied to a dramatic auction sale or a news headline proclaiming a dime worth nearly $500,000, and for someone who stumbles across such a coin unknowingly in a jar of old change, the shock of learning its value can be life-changing, which is why stories like this not only fascinate collectors but also inspire casual people to start checking their coins more closely, and in doing so they enter the vast, intricate, and endlessly surprising world of numismatics, where each coin is a tiny piece of art, history, and mystery all in one. And if we take a moment to consider the potential scenarios that could lead to the discovery of another such coin, we can imagine coins stored away in old rolls from the bank, passed down in family collections without ever being examined closely, or even still circulating in remote areas where they've gone unnoticed for over 2 decades, and each of these coins could potentially command astronomical prices if authenticated and graded. And the grading process itself is a critical step because without professional verification, it can be difficult to prove the authenticity and nature of the error, and organizations like PCGS and NGC specialize in precisely this, encapsulating the coin in protective holders and assigning an official grade, and once graded, the coin can enter the high-end market where serious collectors and investors compete for ownership, and when competition is fierce, prices can exceed even optimistic estimates, which is exactly how the 1999 D-dime could climb to $450,000 in value. And from a broader perspective, this also illustrates how minting errors, far from being seen as flaws, are often treasured as unique fingerprints of a specific moment in time, a moment when a combination of human oversight and mechanical quirks created something unrepeatable. And because coins are mass-produced with the expectation of absolute uniformity, anything that breaks that mold inherently becomes special, and in the case of this dime, the rarity is compounded by the fact that it is from a relatively modern year, making it even more astonishing that such a valuable error could exist in such recent memory. And so as we come full circle in this journey into the world of the 1999 D1 dime USA coin, we see that its extraordinary $450,000 valuation is not some random exaggeration but the result of a very real set of conditions, a rare combination of minting errors, an unusual mint mark anomaly, possibly an incorrect metal planchet, impeccable condition, and a strong market demand from collectors eager to own a unique piece of numismatic history. And this story serves as a reminder to always look closely at the coins we handle every day, because you never know when a seemingly ordinary dime might actually be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure capable of changing your life overnight, where every small detail can make an enormous difference. And today we are diving deep into the story of the 2018 P1 dime USA coin that has stunned collectors and investors across the globe because of its staggering worth of $0.78 million despite having a face value of only 10 cents. And this incredible leap in value is not just because it is a dime from the United States Mint but because it carries a series of unique, rare, and highly sought-after errors and anomalies that have transformed it from ordinary pocket change into a historic treasure for collectors with a sharp eye for details and an appreciation for the art, history, and mystery embedded within coins. As we take you through this coin's captivating tale, we will explore how the smallest minting mistakes can elevate the worth of a coin into unimaginable heights, and why the 2018 P-dime specifically has earned its place in the record books and in the vaults of elite numismatists. To begin with, let's look at the basics of this coin minted in Philadelphia, which is signified by the P mint mark, something that is not unusual for a dime since Philadelphia has been one of the main facilities producing US coins for over 2 centuries. But what sets this 2018 P dime apart is the fact that its mint mark itself became part of the error history. In some cases the P is doubled, faint, misaligned, or in an incorrect position compared to the standard placement. These types of mint mark errors are considered highly collectible because they are not deliberate but the result of mechanical or human error during the minting process, and such errors usually happen during the die preparation phase when the mint mark is punched in separately or misaligned with the hub. And in the case of the 2018 P dime, the variations have been dramatic enough to create a flurry of excitement in the collecting community. But the mint mark anomaly is only one part of the story. The 2018 P dime has also been discovered with several striking and planchet errors, including off-center strikes where part of the coin design is missing because the blank planchet was not properly centered during the striking process. In extreme off-center examples, you might see only part of Roosevelt's face with a large blank crescent of the planchet showing, which gives it an artistic yet highly irregular appearance. Another error found on this dime is the double die error, where parts of the design appear doubled, usually most visible in the inscriptions like "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date 2018. These doubled elements can range from very slight to highly pronounced, and dramatic examples with clear separation between doubled elements fetch significantly higher prices because they are rare and more visually impressive. And then we have die cracks and die chips, which are small raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin caused when the die used to strike the coin develops cracks or small breaks in its surface as the mint continues to use the damaged die. The defect appears on multiple coins, creating varieties that collectors chase, especially if the crack forms an interesting pattern. For instance, some 2018 P dimes have been found with cracks extending from Roosevelt's head toward the rim, almost giving a lightning-like effect across the coin's face, and in rare cases large die chips appear in the letters or in the details of the torch on the reverse, making these coins unique. Each of these errors can occur individually or in combination, and when they do appear together the coin's rarity multiplies exponentially, which is exactly why the most spectacular examples of the 2018 P dime have been valued close to or above $0.78 million in high-end auctions. The level of preservation of these coins also plays a major role in their valuation. A coin graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC in mint state condition, particularly MS68 or higher, will command much greater value because collectors always seek examples with sharp details, full original luster, and minimal marks or blemishes. The fact that such an error coin can survive circulation in pristine condition is extraordinary in itself and adds to the mystique of the 2018 P dime. Rarity is one thing, but demand is another factor fueling its value. The 2018 P dime gained massive attention after a few high-profile sales were reported in the numismatic news, drawing in not just seasoned collectors but also new enthusiasts hoping to find one in their spare change. The idea that such a coin could be hiding in an average roll of dimes from the bank ignited a modern-day treasure hunt, with people across America carefully inspecting their coins with magnifying glasses and microscopes. The excitement reached online marketplaces where listings for 2018 P dimes with even minor anomalies began attracting bidders from around the world. However, the true gems with multiple dramatic errors, flawless surfaces, and clear provenance from original mint sets have been the ones breaking price records. To understand why minting errors like those seen on the 2018 P dime are so valuable, it helps to consider the broader history of US coinage errors. Since the early days of the mint, errors have fascinated collectors because they represent a physical record of a moment when the highly controlled minting process went off script. Each error is essentially a one-of-a-kind accident that cannot be intentionally replicated under today's strict minting standards. In the case of the 2018 P dime, some experts suggest that changes in die preparation procedures combined with high-speed mass production might have increased the likelihood of certain errors slipping past quality control systems in Philadelphia that year. Whatever the reason, the result has been a small but significant population of these remarkable coins entering circulation and mint sets, where lucky finders have been astonished to learn of their hidden fortune. The coin's composition of copper and nickel might seem ordinary, but what it carries in historical and collector value is anything but. For those new to coin collecting, this story also serves as a reminder that any coin, no matter how modern, can be worth a fortune if it carries the right combination of rarity, demand, and condition. So next time you receive change at a store or open a roll of dimes from the bank, it might be worth taking a closer look, because the 2018 P dime is proof that incredible treasures still exist in the most unexpected places, and the thrill of the hunt is alive and well in the modern coin world. Beyond its monetary value, the 2018 P dime has also sparked broader discussions about the role of mint errors in the hobby. Some purists argue that errors should not overshadow traditional aspects of collecting like complete date and mint mark sets or historical series, yet the undeniable excitement and record-breaking sales of coins like this prove that the market has a strong appetite for the unusual and visually striking. In fact, the 2018 P dime may be one of the coins responsible for drawing a new generation into numismatics in the digital era, where social media and online forums can spread news of a discovery instantly to millions of people, creating viral waves of interest that once would have taken years to build through traditional print publications and club meetings. In that way, this dime is more than just a rare coin. It is a cultural phenomenon in the collecting community, a modern symbol of how passion, attention to detail, and a little luck can combine to turn something as small as a dime into a life-changing discovery. And as we conclude this deep dive into the 2018 P dime's journey from the mint floor to millionaire status, remember that the world of coins is filled with stories just like this, some waiting centuries to be uncovered, others hiding right in your pocket at this very moment. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your curiosity alive, because the next great find could be just a handful of change away.